So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and this is the perennial challenge, the Hellcat against the Jackson. Which is better? So yeah, childish humour. So Dynamics and I regularly have this discussion whenever we're playing World of Tanks together. He prefers the Hellcat, I prefer the Jackson, and we always have to go and prove who can do the most damage and have the best games. It's a little bit unfair because I have I think a far better crew in this thing than he has in his Hellcat, but you know, if you can't have childish fun, why not? So we're on a tier 8 game. We're platooned up with Shoot and Scoot, who is in the Burt, the FV304 British artillery. We are bottom tier. We are heavily going to have to struggle in this game to do anything, especially when you waft shots like that, Dom, and then miss the opportunity to hit the KV5. Now the KV5 what goes really balls in here. He just goes crazy. We'll see what we see from Dynamics position. He's right beside me. We've both got our eyes set on that gap over there. Dynamics actually manages to hit the KV5, but angled like that at that kind of range, that's a really tough shot to take out anything. So he bounces. And that KV5, he goes right on in. He don't stop for nobody. And you watch how long he survives. I mean, that KV5 is a tough old brute to take down, but nothing can really hurt him at all. So back to my viewpoint, and part of the job of being a TD driver is patience. You can't, oh there you go, somebody just hit him. That was Shoot and Scoot, managed to do a tiny amount of damage on the KV5, the death of a thousand cuts. So yeah, part of the thing about being in a TD is patience. You've got to keep your eyes peeled for opportunities, like when an Easy 8 pops out there and a Hellcat pops out there. Now my Easy 8 shot hit, but I didn't manage to hit the Hellcat, although he's going to come back out again, is he? He is, you know, and he's disappeared. So I fire a speculative, but meanwhile Dynamics hits him and hits the spot that I wanted to hit and takes him out. So back to Dynamics. Let's have a look at his view here. There's the Easy 8 pops out. He plants a shot, but look at that one. Whereas mine went dead straight, his one dropped off to the low right. However, against the Hellcat, he reloads, and while my shot goes high right, he manages to put it straight through where that Hellcat was invisible to us, and he's down. So we've got 1-0, and really, as I say, you've got to just sit it out and see what you can do. Oh, there's the Hellcat. Bang. He crits him. So, again, the variety of things here. He crits the Hellcat, I hit him and do damage. So back to my view on this one. Don't worry, these two tanks will split up and it'll be a bit different view each time. But at the moment we're sitting happy together. So there's my shot, and Dynamics' shot tracks him, I think. He repairs and pulls back. So we're doing okay here. But if you look at the city, they've got a lot of heavy tanks in there, and they are getting rather the better of the fight. Now we just put a few speculative shots into the onto that windmill site up there, and I can just about see that Easy 8, but he ain't making it easy for me. So planting shells where we can, try not to waste ammunition because you haven't got tons of it, but trying to keep it uncomfortable for the enemy tanks. You can see the KV5 is still there, and he's still got well over 1,000 hit points left. He just, I am so well impressed, and he's holding up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemy tanks with 1 KV5. He's losing all the support though, and that means that the enemy, our tanks can come round behind him. And once you get in that kind of situation, even a KV5's in real trouble. So still nothing much happening. You can see, however, if you look on the mini-map, the city has fallen. We've lost the city. There is a whole heap. Oh, before we Oh, look at that, easy 8. That was a nice shot. So a whole heap of enemy tanks going to come streaming out of the city, and I've seen it. And you know, you mustn't allow yourself to get tunnel visioned when you're playing TD. And I've started to pull back and get into a position where I can influence that side of the map. Meanwhile, Dynamics is staying here. Gets unlucky again. That shell just dipped. Don't think it was fully aimed, but it was close enough, I would have thought. So he doesn't manage to get hit on the easy 8, and you can see I'm pulling back, heading up towards the where the GW Panther's sitting, because we really haven't got anybody apart from artillery covering the city now. So Dynamics is staying where he is for the moment, trying to keep the eyes on what's there, seeing if he can get some opportunity shots, but finally he decides it's time for him to relocate too. And move around and support me in defending our base from the enemy heavies. Now remember, of course, again, you know, we are just tier 6 tanks. All those tanks coming out the city pretty much are tier 8s. It's going to be pretty tough for us to deal with them, but you know, the beauty about TDs is they have guns, generally have guns that are far superior to their tier. So it's back to 7 plays 6. 8 plays 6 now, because the oh, and there we go. So now it's 7 plays 5. So the game's a little bit more even. So back up to my view, I've climbed up to this position here at the back of the base. It's a nice spot. You've got good views of the tanks coming out of the city, and good views of things coming around the middle. The beauty of this is I've got binos. My view range is far superior to most of those tanks that are coming out of the city. They're Russian, and even Russian heavies are pretty blind. Who's going to pop up first? Ah, there we go. It's a KV4, sorry. Plant one shot straight into his side. Even a tier 8, when he's been hit by this gun at range into the side, is going to struggle. That's 2 shots. Can I get a third in before he disappears? Sadly not. No, he dipped down the edge of. In fact, he almost drowned himself by the look of it. He dropped down in his hurry to get away from the shots that I was hitting him with. He pulled back. So let's see from Bonkers. I keep saying Bonkers. From Dynamics' point of view, he's trying to do the same thing. Reload. And he was unlucky, because the moment he fired, you saw the KV4 sort of turned slightly towards him, so it became angled armor all of a sudden, and there was nothing he could do about that. Misses with the auto-aimed shot, so yeah, not so good. So we have a KV4 down there. We know there's a pair of IS-6s who are platooned together and extremely good players. And there's what else we got there? Oh, there we go. There's the KV4 again. So can Dynamics put shell through him? Bounces off his turret, which is unfortunate. But he gets cleaned up anyway. So back to my view of that. So again, you know, I'm just sitting here. I'm just chilling. I'm letting my binoculars do the job. You know, at the end of the day, TDs have great guns, but also you have the opportunity to spot for your team and help them out. So you may have noticed Shoot just took down their stealth tank, the E25. I bounced also off the KV4. Again, he's slightly angled, so very tough for us to pen from this sort of distance. But we needn't have worried, because our friend the GW Tiger artillery just completely creams him, so that's good. So there is only the 2 IS-6s left. All of a sudden the game went completely in our favour. However, these two IS-6s, A, they're very good tanks. B, they're on very strong health. They've got, you know, between them 3,000 hit points left. They've also got a couple of kills, well, 3 kills between them, and they're good players. Now they could clean us up quite easily. Well, not quite easily. They could clean us up if we're not careful, because we've only got well, our artillery is good, but the rest of us are pretty low tier to be going up against them. So anyway, me and Dynamics start heading up through the centre. He's given me a bit of a push start, but soon gets bored of that and decides he wants to go off and kill some IF6s. So you can see the speed difference between the two tanks. Hellcat is considerably faster in a straight line than the Jackson. However, I think the Jackson is probably quicker pulling back, which is why I like it more, because TDs you fire and pull back. So there's one of the IS6s. One shell right up his Jaxie. Can we finish him off? Reload. I'm firing premium because he is a tier 8 tank, and I think that's justified. So he's down. Just his buddy left, who is still on 1200 hit points. So again, we have to be very careful. He's such a strong tank and such a good player that if it wasn't for artillery, I think he could quite happily clean us up. So he's gone behind that hill. I'm going to head round to the left. Meanwhile, let's see what Dynamics has been doing in the meantime. He came up slightly more to the right of where I went. He's loaded HE because he doesn't carry any premium. He doesn't. Dynamics doesn't have a premium account, so he doesn't carry premium ammunition. So he's using HE instead of APCR. But he puts a couple of shots in on the IS6, but there you go, he's now down. So he's going to head out wide, and somebody was moaning about, oh, don't use HE. It's like, well, if that's somebody who's obviously not used to playing in a non-premium account. And the beauty of using HE against something like an IS6 is you got a good chance of doing some damage, and a little bit of damage helps, but also an HE shell into the tracks has a good chance of, there you go, he's moaning about it, a good chance of tracking him. And if he tracked that IS6 there, it would have been good night with 2 artillery firing on him. So CDC's moaning about us using, or him, the Dynamics using HE. Sometimes that is a good option. So anyway, Dynamics is pushing wide. You can see Shoot's still there. He hasn't had a monumental game, but he took out the E25 earlier, which was really helpful, and he's been pecking away at people, which is what the Burt tends to do. Dynamics is coming wide. He's going to try and get a shot up on the IS6. The IS6 is in a lot of trouble, but he's going to go down swinging because he's still got a lot of hit points, really. So here we go. Nice shot there. 104 this time with HE, and meanwhile the IS6 gets cleaned up. So let's see, from my perspective, I'm pushing up round, trying to spot really the IS6. I know that he's there, but I have got full health, so, and I actually bounce his shot off my frontal plate. Another reason why I love this tank. My shot there tracks him. I wasn't trying to track him necessarily. I was trying to hit him on that sort of flat front panel that the IS6 has, but the effect was to tie him down, and the artillery slammed him. My second shell went straight through the drive wheel and took him out, and that was great fun. Good fun game. So in the regular childish challenge between me and Dynamics about which tank is better, the Hellcat or the Jackson, clearly the Jackson is, and wins again in another confrontation. I love it, I love it, I love it. Anyway, that was an ace tanker and a fire for effect. I mean, that was a tough old matchup for us. I mean, we were bottom tier. There were some big old tier 8 tanks in that game. And I think, as you can see here, let's just get base XP up, there we go, we acquitted ourselves pretty well. So I came up with 1780 damage, which, actually looking at that, was the second highest damage of any of the players in the game, apart from this GW Tiger. The I6 on the enemy team did fantastically well as well. So third highest with a tier 6 TD is not bad. Only got 1 kill, but 1135 damage. Shoot and scoot in the Burt got 661 and 2 kills, a couple of cheap kills at the end there, matey. And look at poor old Dynamics. Well, you were in the weaker tank there, in the Hellcat, in 558 and 1 kill. I fired 19 shots, hit with 10 of them, penned with 8 for that 1700 damage. Majority of that was at long range. We decided very early on that we were going to play defensively because, as I say, we were low tier. So you kind of, when you're a TD, you've got a good gun, but you've got 0 armor. So The longer you can remain hidden and firing at range, the more you can help your team with damage, because if you get too close you're going to just get spotted and killed because you don't have the hit points or the armor. Got 1720 assistance damage. A lot of that was those IS-6s at the end. I think the KV-4 probably as well. So yeah, in fact we can have a look. There we go. So we got IS-6 assistance. What do we get for him? 720, 712 on the KV-4, and 288 on the other IS-6, so that was good. Received 41,000 credits, did fire some APCRs, only came out with 15,500 credits. Would have been only just shy of 2,000 with a non-premium account. Lots of bonuses, lots of other stuff, but basically nearly 7,000 experience for the crew. But then I was running personal reserves, so probably more accurate would have been 3,000, 4,000, something like that, with the premium account. So there you go, Jackson wins again. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider clicking like. It's very easy, just click the like button, whatever. And if you haven't already done so, click on the subscribe button. Again, just click on the button, it's easy. And you get to get notified whenever any new videos get posted from my channel. In the meantime, enjoy your games, have fun. Remember, it is just a game, and always take your Jackson over the Hellcat. And I'll see you again soon. Gamer Dom, out.